Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sword and Key, where we are featuring Monster of the Week. Not just Monster of the Week, though. Monster of the Week, A Night in the Museum. A special October one-shot and the continuation of many of our one-shots and some of our two-shots here where we are raising money for NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. It is an important cause, especially to me. It's a cause, an organization I've been part of since I was in college. And it's an organization that does a lot of good, especially in the United States specifically, because in this month of scary things and monsters and all the things that make us jump and go, we don't have to fear mental illness. It does not have to be a scary thing, and having mental illness or seeking mental health care does not make you a monster. And I really want to emphasize that as we live in a time where mental health care is more prevalent than ever, more accessible than ever, and yet we still find people who are having trouble accessing it. So, NAMI is a wonderful organization that helps to advocate for people who live with mental illness and advocate for their needs, and can also help you get set up with mental health care. So, should you need find yourself in need or find loved ones in need of care, which we all kind of are a little bit. Therapy is great, highly recommend it. But you don't know where to go, please check out your local NAMI branch. Look up NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness, and should you have a couple extra bucks sitting around and you don't know what to do with them and you'd like to put them towards a great cause, you can do that here. You can even impact this game and many of our games here. We have some incentives where you can give +1 to a player's roll. You can give auto success and auto like crit success essentially in what is Monster of the Week. You can give a complication to me just to make things a little more spicy, or you can give an auto success to every player. So there's always that as well. Um, all that said, I want to go around and have these lovely people introduce themselves and say more about where you can find them. One last thing before I do, you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find all our links there, including the link to donate, but it should also be in chat, and all of our affiliate links and everything as well that you will see on break. Okay, Abishek, why don't you go ahead and start us out?
Hey everyone, my name is Abishek. I'm a voice actor, TTRPG performer, who today will be playing our lovely deathless Layla Osiria. She's fun. You'll find out more about her. I'm just gonna leave it there for now.
Yeah, that's fine. I totally with one shots like this, especially if you do have like some of these characters do little secrets to them. If you don't want to reveal those right off the bat, that's okay. Next up we have Cass.
Hi, I'm Cass. I never know how to talk about myself. I'll be playing Orla-Nima October the Mystic.
Perfect. That's hey, did it, didn't one. Great job. Next up we have Killian.
Hi, I'm Killian, and I will be playing Liam, the monstrous character. And if you can't tell, they're part moth.
They're part moth. Yeah. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know anything about anybody who might be part moth or anything like that. Definitely nobody from West Virginia is super concerned right now. And last but absolutely not least, we have Anna.
I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Money, most places on the internet, and I'll be playing Melody Solomon, the half angel divine and curator of folklore. What was I say? Of folklore, mythology, and superstition at the Rhyming Museum of History.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was definitely thinking it might be the Natural Museum, but I was like, there's a lot of stuff here that's not natural.
Mhm.
And also, you know more about museums than I do, but I always get weird when I'm like, I'm in a natural museum and they're like, oh, here's an aircraft. I'm like, that's, does that count? I don't know. Museums are fun. Okay, let's go ahead and set our story here. So, much as Anna was saying, with our lovely characters kind of all collected, um, no pun intended, around the whatever major city the Raimi Museum happens to sit in. It could be Chicago, New York, could be Gotham. The it's a museum with buildings around it, but not too close, because this is one of those really cool museums. And I will point to Cincinnati for this one. It's probably closest to that. If you've never been to the Cincinnati Museum of Natural History, it is what the Justice League Hall of Justice is based off of, which is kind of cool. It's an old train station, and that's always what I have in my mind for this. So it is a museum that's kind of set apart. It has these sprawling concrete blocks that are interlaid with greenery and gardens and a massive fountain in front of it. Even behind it, the fountain almost continues as if it sinks under the building itself and continues outwards to this broad kind of sprawling garden behind. The museum is known for its balconies and its very photographic nature. You know, the museum is very common for people to take their engagement photos at, or even for people to get married at. The museum is also known for being just a little kitschy. It doesn't always have the same display. In fact, the museum is kind of known for rotating displays and always having whatever is on tour being featured. And then whenever that leaves, they're setting up for whatever the next thing is. They don't necessarily have the same exhibits at all times. And for this month of October, the Raimi Museum has decided to feature perhaps one of its most sensationalized exhibits that it ever has before. It is absolutely done, you know, the history of folklore and the history of this or that, but the museum's been a little hard on money lately, so they decided that to bring people in, they would do an exhibition on evil. More aptly, they should have probably called it supernatural, the occult, but nothing brings in people like the exhibition of evil. That word itself just kind of sticks in people. It draws you in knowing that you shouldn't come closer. And that's exactly what the museum director Simon Long has been hoping for. There's been a bit of a soft live. The museum has not fully opened to the public, but there's been some advance tickets sold, and a few people have come in to say, as they're walking out, have really enjoyed themselves. However, with a few of you working at the museum, you would definitely note that the reviews that you get back, everyone required to write something with these advance tickets, part of like how they get them. There aren't as many reviews as people who come in. Some of your coworkers have not come into work, not called out. Are they sick at home? You also notice they're the same ones that tend to work late. When you turn your lights off and clock out for the end of the day, they're the ones that are still working on a project here or an analysis there. And then they're not back the next day. Their work left unfinished. Not really something they would do. With that, perhaps you've contacted your other supernatural contacts in the area, knowing that with an upcoming gala to really launch the Museum of Evil and its curated artifacts and relics, you should probably check out if something nefarious is going on before you bring a whole bunch of people in here and potentially make it so they can never leave. With that, let's go ahead and go around. It is, midday probably at this point, where the museum is still not fully open. It's still in that kind of like that intermittent time between when the exhibition is fully opened and the gala, which is said to happen in just a couple of days. Where might we find any of you? Let's start out with those who work at the museum. So, Anna, where might we find Melody during like an average work day?
I think we see Melody in kind of a workspace, a temporary workspace that's been set up in the Northwest Tower, working with some of the kind of stuff that has just come in. We see her sitting at a table, had a wavy blonde hair down to her shoulders, and like an art worker smock kind of over her business casual clothing. She's sitting at a chair at a table with like an examination light pointing down at it, and she kind of leans back, looking down what has become an alleyway of boxes in this room, and calls out, "Layla, have you finished those condition reports yet?"
And and a figure would you'd probably hear a voice. Almost. Just have some last few details to finish up, and then I'll be able to hand him off. She'll probably she'll walk towards you. You see Layla, dressed in a similar kind of business casual attire. Black stiletto heels sort of clicking down the hallway. Long black hair. Rather gaunt-ish looking, although still good and presentable. She just looks a little pale, gaunt, and you can see traces of bandages slowly kind of on her arms and a little bit on her neck as well. Alright, here you go.
Thank you. You've picked up on this quite quickly.
What can I say? I've had a rather good knack for being adaptable, shall we say.
Guess it's a good thing you're not ending up out there instead, huh?
As I keep telling myself every day. So, anything else you needed me to do before the event?
We need to go through the final punch list, make sure everything looks nice for the gala, since that is what pays our salaries, but aside from that, I just think wait for everyone else to get here. Hopefully others show up. We need to get this solved before the gala happens. The last thing that we need is all of our donors to go missing.
Yeah, that would be quite the catastrophe. I'll get on that right away.
Thank you.
Speaking of others, as the phone has rang and you all have been ghostbustedly called in to solve this mystery, where would we find Liam and October?
Well, on a typical work day, October would be at the occult bookstore that they own and help run that also has like a greenhouse and other things in the back. So they'd probably be there working until they get a phone call.
For sure.
Liam is also there, probably in the greenhouse, perched on the side of a table and trying to play with the other moths that are in the greenhouse around the plants, trying to catch them and make friends.
Wonderful. Call comes in. Perhaps not the first time that you've been called to at least meet up at the museum. Maybe the first time that you've had to like do a job at the museum. It's typically been one of those like, oh, they're just, they're doing an exhibit on Pompeii. Like, nothing haunted here, weirdly enough. But like, nothing that's really nothing that has made a strike of like this is a deep concern sort of thing. But like as the museum has all these banners, there's these black banners that's flying with evil scrawled out like this scratchy kind of font. I think like even October is just like that's a bit much. Like I work in an occult bookstore, and that is a lot. You would still know that to obfuscate security and everything else, all you have to do is just kind of go around the back, and as you climb up the stairs on that rear balcony to get to the exterior tower, the overflow tower, you would find simple metal door on the outside, employees only on the outside of it.
Liam is absolutely kind of back a little ways and has been distracted by something bright and shiny. They're, small in stature, probably under 5 foot tall, like 4'10", and definitely has like the facial markings and the antennae that mark them as different, but totally looks like just a raver kid. So they kind of blend it.
Yeah, I think as October takes the stairs towards the gate, you see a feminine presenting person in their mid to late 30s with kind of an updated 80s goth look. Short hair, kind of messy, a little bit of cottage witch on top. As opposed to Layla's gauntness, October is definitely a little chubby and curvy, but they're confident about it and they know that they look good. And she's all of 5'5" in her boots.
Team
yeah.
Short Kings.
So, knocking on the exterior metal door, Melody, Layla inside. You know that the security cameras out here on the back balcony don't really work. In fact, a lot of the security cameras inside, as the head security guard has been complaining, he's kind of a chatty guy, an older gentleman, kind of hunched over, still able to wield that mag light like nobody else, but he has this great mustache. His name is Burt Reynolds, but he's not that Burt Reynolds, and he will absolutely tell you that. But he loves to stop by to ask about what you're doing. He has no idea. Like he's just nodding along. It's the same thing that like your grandparents do, and they're like, "How's work?" You're like, "Well, systems analysis isn't really like going exactly how I thought. Like the AI projections are, I mean, just way outside of what we had assumed for this quarter." And they're just like, "That's nice. Can you fix my computer?" Like it's that kind of exchange between them. So, uh, but that Bert has been complaining about the camera systems kind of going, as he puts it, wibbly wonky during the night, and they're not really getting a lot of good feedback. And he's also still using an old VCR system, and every time he tries to pull out the tape, it's like melted a little bit. So now in the exterior tower and the overflow tower, what would you like to do?
Well, we're
Liam is-
here, so what's going on?
Not entirely sure yet. People have seemingly gone missing. I suspect some of our coworkers, some guests. We have a big gala coming up, so we can't afford that to continue happening.
Liam has found the most shiny object in the room and is inexorably pulled towards it.
Layla's gonna try to keep Liam from like disturbing the object. I'm like, okay, come on, Liam, come on.
But shiny.
I know, but like, I know you can play with it later, but not right now. All right.
Okay. And she heelies over to everybody.
Not entirely sure what is happening. The cameras seem to be going out. It's probably tied to something we brought in recently for this exhibit. Marketing insisted on naming it evil, and it turns out that they may have been right.
For once.
Yeah.
Far be it from me to criticize the museum. They've had many interesting exhibits in the past, but did no one stop to think that gathering this many objects of potential paranormal vibes was maybe not the best idea to put them all in one place?
I spoke out against the idea of this exhibit, but Director Long was adamant. He's been watching a lot of Flanagan shows lately, and he is very in his paranormal phase, and thinks
God.
that the donors will be too. So,
God, don't even
I
get me
think he just
started.
likes chaos.
You wouldn't be quite wrong about that, but still, it just drives me up a wall. That man, I swear.
what happens when you bring business majors in to run a museum?
I mean, business majors shouldn't run anything, frankly, because they don't actually know a lot about business, I've noticed. Ooh, shiny!
Okay, Liam, no.
It's usually after dark that things begin happening, so if you all wish to view the exhibit until then, you are more than welcome. And we'll meet back, I guess, in the entryway and start from there, see what we find.
So, no leads at all yet then, other than it happens at night and people have gone missing.
For now, yes. But that's not to say that something might not change. So, you never know. Especially with everything that we've got for the exhibit. Who knows how that could all react and change and commingle with each other.
We've been swamped getting this exhibit installed and ready to open, so we didn't notice people missing until quite recently. I mean, we don't normally even look at those numbers. It was just somebody in a meeting mentioned that it was kind of weird and that we were missing out on people doing reviews. So Layla and I started looking into it. This is where we're at now.
Liam has found a like color-coded map for where all of the exhibits are on Melody's table and starts looking at it. I'm gonna blame black magic.
It very well may be. There are a lot of
My-
suspects here.
Personally, I have my bet on, and Layla's going to point to the Inkinos tomb and the Those Who Would Not Die exhibits. Personally, I have my bet on one of these two.
Ooh, I wonder if there's any immortals that are in the Those Who Would Not Die exhibit. We should go look.
Nice to have some company.
I don't think we should ever count out devilry. But you know my personal stance on that.
Now watch, it's just gonna be where it says man.
I have
Single guy
$5
standing there.
that says we eventually find out the real evil was capitalism all along.
It's in the gift shop. It's the one place none of us are pointing to.
The gift shop, absolutely.
Well, I suppose, Liam, we should familiarize ourselves with each of the exhibits before we really dig in. Are we to be left on our own, or are either of you coming with?
Well, might as well give you the grand tour if you're wanting to familiarize yourself.
Okay, I must remember no touching the shiny things. No touching shiny things. That could be bad. But shiny things.
So, in the vein of Scooby-Doo,
Mm-hmm.
Killian, what would something like a Scooby snack be for Liam if October needs to rein them in?
I think it would be some form of ridiculous cookie. Like, it's an animal cookie, but they only accept the moth-shaped ones.
Mm. I was gonna say like a sweater. Maybe like a mini disco ball with a flashlight.
It's just glasses that like are really
Oh.
deep sunglasses that make nothing shiny.
Yes.
Or a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I was saying a kaleidoscope, yeah.
Everything's shiny.
Okay. So you will go to travel into the museum then. Perhaps to Layla, this doesn't necessarily strike as much, considering you probably helped assemble it. But to October and Liam, this may be the first time you've seen something like this as you go in from the rear balcony into the main hall, and you see the central rotunda has on the plinth there that is sometimes featured like dinosaur fossils or these like massive dioramas of whatever display or exhibit is there. You've even had like musicians sometimes performing in the past, live musicians if it's been an exhibition about music. But featured on the plinth here is a massive fossil with these outstretched bony wings and this spine-like tail that's wrapping around, and these massive jaws. And as your brain is kind of like piecing all these bits together, you realize that this is, as close as you can tell, the fossils of a dragon. And its claws are very much like some fossils tend to be. The claws of this wyvern-like dragon are wrapped around the thigh bone of another set of fossils. And you are kind of like taking in the size of this thing, and you realize that what has been staged here is a dragon taking down a T-Rex in fossilized form. And that is like the first thing you see as you walk down any of these hallways, this T-junction at the central rotunda. And cast all about it are these bits of light that come in from the east and the west. These large, like as tall as the building itself, stained glass windows that are casting like this kaleidoscope of colors all over these like grayish brown fossilized remains. Where would you all like to explore first in the museum?
Liam wants to know if this is a real dragon and would like to investigate those wings to see if it looks like it actually goes with the rest of the skeleton.
For sure, yeah. Let's investigate a mystery.
I mean, October definitely just looked at Layla and was like, ah, yes, Chekhov's dragon, I get it.
I'm gonna use that plus 10 that I was gifted because I rolled a total of 5.
So as someone with wings yourself, and actually, I'm sorry, 1 second here. I have to pay attention to when I'm typing stuff. Okay, so I'm sorry, I no longer have to do a Scooby-Doo voice for 3 minutes, but we now have a complication, so that is good to know. I appreciate you. Scooby-Doo it is as much as I would love to. My voice is not up to it today. Looking at this dragon, looking to see the joints, looking to see the way the wings are spread. This, as far as you are aware, seems to be a complete fossil. The way that it is structured out, the way the wings kind of like the curvature of them, the way that, I mean, they're bat-like, so they have those bones, the phalanges that go all the way through, the way they lock into the shoulders, the way the shoulder bones are shaped to, kind of not slide against one another when they flap or compress back in. This very much looks to be a complete dragon fossil. And as you are kind of like reading the signage on it, it says that this fossil was found in southern Germany, in a dig outside of a like Roman, pseudo-Roman kind of colony that they had been digging up, and then they found this dragon fossil nearby. They have staged it near a T-Rex. They did not find the T-Rex necessarily nearby, but they have staged it as this is clearly an as of yet undocumented type of dinosaur, perhaps a branch between the dinosaur and the pterosaur, which likely was a predator of the Tyrannosaurus rex, judging by the age of the bones, setting it back to the Cretaceous period.
I want wings like that. I just have, and like when they take off the jacket that they've been wearing to hide the wings, like the wings are part of their arms and they fold just well enough to like go underneath a caped jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And flies up to like look closer at him and be like, I just have little wings, but those are cool and they're real. This is a real dragon. How? They're not supposed to. Well, I mean, I guess I exist, so I can't necessarily discount dragons.
quite surprised at what's actually out there in the world.
And
Where's your
as I'm
next?
flying up there higher, what would be the first door that I see for another exhibit?
So, looking at the map here, there we go. You would have passed by the doorway to the tomb of Incubus, and would have definitely seen a lot of glittering gold metal in there that's kind of cast off of all of this like tomb-like light. You know, this synthesized flickering torchlight. Other than that, you would see probably the sign to a world of monsters, uh, which is going to be to the southwest, and then further down, you would see the doors. There's two doors to the those who would not die section, and the black magic section across from that. And then you'd also see again the Hall of Heroes, and the Hall of Haunted Paintings, which flank to the east and west respectively.
I think that Liam would immediately like just swoop down to the Hall of Haunted Paintings to see if any of the paintings are actually haunted.
Yeah.
Is anything moving?
Let's go ahead and do another investigative mystery.
So let's use different dice than the last time.
I'll help out this time.
Okay, what does that give me?
I have to roll on cool
That's
to
right.
see if I actually help you.
That's fair.
That is a 10, so you get a +1 on whatever you roll.
Very nice.
Okay. I kid you not, I just rolled Snake Eye. So that's another total of 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna use luck this time though.
Okay.
And change it to a 12.
Change it to 12. Okay, perfect. In that case, as you are scanning down this hallway and kind of looking to your left and your right, you definitely do feel like, perhaps for the first time, that you are being watched in a very severe way. You note that there is one of the first paintings that you see is of a regent, some sort of probably American. You're not sure whether north, south, or exactly what era this is in, but as you kind of take a closer look at it, you see that this is it says on loan from the Hotel Galvez in Galveston, Texas. And it lists itself as a portrait of the Spanish general Bernardo de Galvez, 1746 to 1786. And you're kind of scanning, there's a ship in the background. He seems to be holding a cane. And as you're kind of like scanning up the painting for just a second, it seems like his face is skeletal. And then you blink and it's just a normal elderly man wearing a goofy wig.
October, October, October! This one's haunted! I saw his skeleton.
Well, it looks fine to me, but I definitely wouldn't discount that. Honestly, there's enough here that even if only a few of them were originally actually haunted, there could have been enough transference where this whole hallway could be a problem.
There's a kind of ethereal sound of the fluttering of wings, and Melody steps up behind the two of you. I can promise you all of them are haunted, but none of them should be severely enough that they could do anything like this. Not unless we had the wrong provenance, that severely underestimated their power.
Well, I would mark this one as very haunted, because that's freaky but cool.
It's about all he does, that and mess with the environmental controls in here, which is a pain for conservation, but that is the price that a exhibit like this carries, I guess.
Well, I will let somebody else pick where we go now, because I'm very distracted by trying to make the skeleton happen again.
Quite nice. If you start singing a sea shanty, he'll usually sing along with you.
Oh, when the Wellerman comes. That's not the actual song, but I don't remember how it goes. Liam doesn't have very much brain space for song.
Fully respect that. Where would you all like to go next? Or would you like to explore the Hall of Paintings more?
I mean, I am curious about this singing painting now. So while Liam starts the Wellerman with like one or two words and then trails off, Orla-Nima October does actually start singing. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. And she starts to sing Barrett's Privateers.
Man, why does it feel like there should be a role for this? Let's see. I'm going to say this is kind of manipulate someone. You're kind of trying to manipulate a painting to sing along with you.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? October was eager to sing, so I'm not going to say it's an act under pressure.
Well, it's not a 10, so it's a 8. So right in that.
It's an 8. So that's a mixed success. So what I'm going to say is with that, you do note that the painting like begins to shift just a little bit, and it's almost like it's subtle at first, where like the hand kind of like grips the cane, and you notice like a finger is kind of tapping along to the beat. And just as like it seems like the mouth is about to open, and there's again like this almost lightning flash in the background of the painting itself behind the ship that makes the skull kind of appear. You hear a voice to your left that goes, "Hey, oh, you're not supposed to be in here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize, Miss Melody and Miss Layla. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you had guests." And you would look to see the elderly form of your head security guard, Burt Reynolds, with a youth kind of dragging behind him. This like big gold chain on his neck that's like outside of the security guard outfit. You know, he's got the tie really like dangled. It's unbuttoned a lot. You know, he's really trying to make it cool. He's got the sleeves rolled up as best as he can. The Bert, your head security guard, again, fantastic mustache, hair swooped all the way back, holding his flashlight out even though it's not on. Hello, guests. My name is Burt Reynolds. I am the head security guard. No relation to him. I am related to security guards. But welcome to the Raimi Museum. I hope you enjoy your stay. I didn't know that we were open to any sort of public attendance. So I apologize for shouting out.
Just a few independent researchers. You're looking
Uh-huh.
at this before it opens.
Yeah, he's looking at the like curvy goth woman, the scene kid moth person. Like, yeah, sure.
From the local university.
Oh, safe spaces. I get it. Okay. All right. Well, if you need anything at all, just call in old Bert. Or if you can't get a hold of me, he's gonna turn around, and Mikey's like pulling his pants up, and he's like, "This fucking radio's so fucking heavy." He's like, "Mikey, introduce yourself. You're a professional." Hi, Mikey Palatino. I got this job through. He looks at his hand, nepotism, and I am here to help you. Question mark. All right.
Seems to be a common career path here, but it is nice to meet you. Please do let me know if anything strange happens, especially with the cameras again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an old system. But I just don't understand why it's melting them. I bought a new VCR, and I cannot tell you how hard it was to do that. But I am not switching to DVD. I went to 8-track once. Never again. They're not going to get me this time. VHS is coming back. Remember, be
It's a
kind, rewind.
VHS.
Yeah,
Whispered to
Mikey looks over.
October.
Yeah. Mikey's looking at the other scene key. He's like, "Oh, did you go to Uptown High?"
No, I went to school somewhere. I promise.
Class of 23?
22.
That's why I don't know you. Yeah.
Oh no, that was weird. Slowly start stepping more and more behind October to hide.
All right. Well, we'll leave you be. We'll be in the office if you need anything, and you all just, take care of yourselves, and don't look at anything too close. I guess I keep every time I do. My bathroom trips have not been great. We'll put it that way. It has nothing to do with this new restaurant Mike introduced me to, Chipotle. I don't know. Column A, column B.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you both.
Okay. He's just gonna start walking very slowly. And Mikey is just still looking down at himself. He's like, yeah, this looks not bad. Not bad. Okay, bye. He's gonna turn and go. Where'd you
I
next?
don't know how to relate to other people anymore. I don't. Did I go to school? I don't know if I went to school.
I would imagine you went to school at one point, Liam.
Yeah, probably when I was a little kid, because I don't remember, I remember learning some stuff. I know I can read, but yeah. Then I got taken by that weird guy, and then I ended up like this. Anyway, where are we off to next?
Well, we're right here by a world of monsters. I don't see any point in jumping around when we can make a circuit of the building.
Logical. I like it.
Makes sense.
Okay. Entering the world of monsters, which again, it has a banner over the top of it. There's these artificial claws that are kind of, set into the banner itself. The writing looks like it was been, clawed out by something horrible. There's, these teeth that are set over the door to make it look like the mouth of some great beast. But as you enter, it is dark in here. There are small spotlights to kind of make it so you can just see well enough. There's some lines across the floor to make it ADA compliant. But most of what is well lit in here are the artifacts themselves. And as you are looking around, you can see that you are in the devilry section first. There are these kind of large pieces of stone that are set up as these kind of intermittent walls. They have openings on either side, and you can see that there's 2 layers of them. And even the walls themselves, they have benches set in front of them where you can kind of sit and look at them, or turn around and sit and look at the rest of the exhibit here. In the devilry section, if I could get someone to do a roll to investigate a mystery.
I'll do it.
Liam is sitting in front of one of the spotlights, just staring.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Great. With a 9, you are looking around, and what you see are a number of artifacts. I would say that maybe the first one that you notice is this very large, like jagged metal pieced club. It is, as far as you can immediately tell just by looking at it, Asiatic in origin, and you can see that kind of set into the bottom of this glass case that it's set in vertically are a pair of horns that seem to be almost like ripped from some animal, bits of like bone still attached to the bottom of them. And this is listed as purported Konobo Club and horns of an Oni sourced from medieval Japan, 1457. It puts a question mark after 1457. Going along a little bit after that, set into just like a glass case, there's a small bag and a set of dice, and these are listed as devil's dice, found on the body of several gamblers, finally added to the Museum of Las Vegas, the Museum of Gambling in Las Vegas. These dice are said to always roll success in gambling situations, with a dire price paid to the roller a short time later. In the center, kind of gleaming more than anything else in here, is this massive golden statue of this horned god like creature. The little card says that this is a statue of Baal, and while most of it is gold, the center part, especially where these outstretched arms are, is all charred, blackened, and kind of melted a little bit. And it said it is scorched with the marks of thousands of sacrifices made by Carthaginians. In the far corner, kind of jutting out a little bit, is this like iron wrought figure of the Grim Reaper that is set into this long beam of wood. And this is actually listed as the Grim Reaper figurehead of the Flying Dutchman. And then finally, at the on the far end, something that maybe sticks out because of how normal it is just a guitar. And this is listed as the guitar of Robert Johnson, the famed blues player who was said to have sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. That's what you get in the devilry section. Looking at the wall, that is kind of like set up, you notice it's not part of the rest of the room. It's set as a bit of stone that doesn't really match. And as you're looking at it, you can notice these lines in it that kind of like all go across at the same height. And then much lower than that, you can see that there are scratch marks, almost from like where people might have been scratching into the stone. And these are listed as being sourced from Knossos, which is a city on the island of Crete, and that these were sourced from a labyrinth that was found beneath Knossos that was believed to perhaps be the mythical labyrinth of the Minotaur. That's what you get in at least the devilry section. Like I said, there's 2 layers of the Knossos kind of the Minotaur walls that are put down here. Anything you want to investigate further? Okay, we're continuing on them.
Liam is still very much stuck in front of this light. In fact, I'm gonna roll act under pressure to get away from it.
Okay, please do.
Six.
Okay. Liam, I think for the first time, like the stuck in this light, in this otherwise darkened space, it's almost like everything else kind of falls away for a brief moment. And the sounds of your friends, the figures of your friends, it's almost like you are stuck in this spotlight, and otherwise what is this blank void. And you hear this voice kind of just echoing just slightly in your ears, and it says, "I could give you so many great things. You would never have to leave the light."
ever leave the light. Light is friend.
Yeah, okay, but like, I could give you more light. Is that
How can you give me more light? I'm intrigued.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure you're into this. Sorry. Um. We could make a deal for more light. I'm sorry. Most people want like a lot of money, and like power and stuff. You just.
The
I
light
could
is
give you
the
like
light
an
is so
incandescent
pretty.
light bulb. I mean,
But gold is shiny too.
sure. Yeah, I could give you gold. Definitely. Sorry. Really
I'm
should have
in.
evaluated your wants before. All right. Okay. Okay. As Liam is quickly selling their Mothi soul to whatever this power is, what would the rest of you like to do? As you turn to see Liam staring up at the light, eyes rolled back, and just kind of like chattering to themselves.
Is this out of the ordinary for Liam? I guess that's my first question. Or
That's
is
a
this
good
very
question.
much in character?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it's
on
very
the
much-
Grandma would
fence.
be- yeah, I think
I'm
Grandma
on the
would probably have
fence.
same mind.
I've seen Liam get stuck in light a lot, but also
The talking to themselves is probably new with the light.
October digs into her like side bag and rustles through some things. No. Oh, there it is, and pulls out a small frosted with sprinkles little moth cookie and waves it under Liam's nose.
Should I roll act under pressure again to see if it works?
You can roll. Why don't we roll to help out? And we can roll help under pressure with or under pressure with the help.
Well, that was a terrible roll, so I'm going to use that plus 10 since we all had been given one earlier.
Okay. In that case, as we are helping out, we're going to grant him the 10 plus is a +1 to your roll, so you also may roll act under pressure with a +1.
I finally rolled well, so that is a total of 10 plus 1 is 11 minus 1, so 10.
Okay. With the 10 then, as we are doing act under pressure, yeah, you set out to do what you did. So you have like broken the control. You kind of like blink and you realize that there's like a lot of other light in here, and this voice just goes, well, if you ever want to make a deal later, maybe. I mean, okay. Talk to you later. Moving on through the monster exhibit into the center section, you see that it is listed the monstrosity of man, and in here you note that there are really like three main things in this otherwise slim area. You can see that there is a banner. It seems to be the battle standard of what you would identify as the Lost Ninth Legion of Rome, which was a legion that supposedly went somewhere in Britain at the time, in Britannia, and was never seen again. But this is purported to be. It has the golden eagle head on it, and has the remnants of this battle standard, and it was said to be found in a peat bog in Scotland. You also see that there is the journal and chemistry set listed as belonging to the now deceased Dr. Henry Jekyll. And the most like the largest thing kind of like set into the far wall of this tunnel is this large statue of this winged serpent that you would identify quickly as being like Mesoamerican, and the list itself as a statue of Quetzalcoatl, believed to have been from Cortez's reign. And you notice quickly that the stone is discolored. It lists itself as being discolored from the amount of blood that was sourced from Cortez's atrocities. Continuing onward, and the monsters of history, and getting to the actual like real monsters. They live alongside us. You see that the walls, the upper parts of the walls, are covered in these large, like superimposed photographs of all these cryptids. So you can see that there's pictures of Nessie, pictures of Bigfoot, Patterson Gimlin film, pictures of chupacabras, and everything else, every other cryptid that's been photographed or videoed is kind of lining the walls in these stills. And then below them are the artifacts proper. So you can see that there is a very large, clawed, desiccated arm that lists itself as being potentially the arm of Grendel, found in outside of London. They also have a large whitish brown pelt with like these kind of like orangish tips near where you can tell the hands are. It almost seems humanoid in shape, and it lists itself as a Yeti pelt sourced from the Himalayas. You also see a Native American headdress. However, like as you walk in, you notice that you almost feel like you can smell, you can sometimes smell electricity when it's going through like wires, or like you kind of like feel static a little bit. As you get closer to this headdress, you kind of feel it more and more, to where like if you went to like, it's like you've been rubbing your feet on the carpet for a really long time as you've built up all this static electricity. If you go to touch something metal, it's going to zap you a little bit. And you realize that the placard on this says that it is a headdress made from purported thunderbird feathers. And then the last thing that I think Liam might be attracted, not to really single out Liam in this one especially, but Liam, this I think might actually be something that scares you. So I will have you roll for this, because this is a piece of the Silver Bridge. This is the bridge that collapsed between West Virginia and Ohio, that was inextricably connected to your past, whether you remember it or not.
I'm gonna use luck again because I rolled snake eyes.
Okay, you can throw those dice right out the window.
I've used different dice each
Okay,
time.
just all of them, just all of them at this point.
There is one question. Are any of the pictures of the cryptids possibly Liam, since they became a cryptid legend when they were rampaging?
There definitely are some pictures of what is said to be Mothman. But a lot of them are Chicago Mothman, and that's not. I don't think that's you. That's maybe some other guy. I don't know, copycats or whatever.
Liam wants to try and sneak a picture that somebody took that looks very cryptid-like and like blurry that is of them, and like stick it up in one of the
Okay.
frames.
Like, you're pulling a Spider-Man. You're just like a selfie of Mothman. Yeah, that's great. Okay. That is all that you see in the world of monsters. Anything that you all want to do with any of those artifacts? Anything that you want to check out, or are you ready to move on to the next section?
I would definitely like to use magic on the arm of Grendel.
Okay.
So
Okay, we're gonna roll plus weird.
Yep.
What effect are we looking to do with your magic?
I'm hoping to observe another place or time connected to this arm to potentially verify what it says to be.
Okay, absolutely.
Obviously, it's on display. I can't really take it down, but October digs in their bag again and pulls out a little piece of chalk. This one is a lavender, because it's one of those little chalk boxes of multicolor chalks.
Mm-hmm.
And they pull out this little piece of chalk and they kneel down in front of the arm and they draw a circle and starts, writing out all of the sigils and whatnot. That is a 12.
Okay. This
is what I'm good at.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. So what does this look like? Are you what are you looking to kind of like see it like a movie? Because on a 12, that tells me like you're experiencing it, like you're seeing like POV, what the time and place of this thing.
Um, yeah, I think I'm trying to view it like a movie, kind of similar to like Scry and D&D,
Hmm.
where I'm a third party observer, but it gives me like the thing and some other details.
Okay. So the room begins to kind of shift around you and reshape, the light shifting and recasting itself, as in mere moments, as it kind of spins around you, you find yourself standing just as you are, but now in this great Nordic hall, these long beams of wood, this thatched roof above, and all about you, you can just hear screaming as you look past all of these trencher tables, to where there are just these slaughtered Vikings all over the floor. There's blood, there's weapons cast aside, but there is one who is atop what you can only describe as this troll-like monster, this giant with these horrible fanged teeth, some sort of, again, troll, ogre, some sort of beast. But there is this warrior atop who is screaming in this proto-Germanic, as he has the monster's arm locked behind it in this strange, very brutal type arm bar. And as the muscles are tightening on this Viking, just sweat kind of covering his face, blood literally pouring down from his lip, you watch as you hear this crack and snap as the joint separates on this monster, and you hear it crying out this horrible noise, as everyone in the hall begins to cover their ears, this king sitting on his throne, all these Vikings all about, at this noise. But the warrior key continues to pull, as above the scream you can almost hear the thunder like snap as it finally separates. And as it does, the warrior is thrown clean from the monster, arm like held to him like a body pillow, and the monster flees from the hall. It slams a couple of soldiers out of its way on the way out and bursts through these major double doors, leaving this trail like black Icarus blood behind it. And as it goes howling off into the night, your vision kind of ends as the warrior stands up victorious, holding the arm above him, and just this chant begins in this language that you're not necessarily familiar with.
Interesting. Well, I don't think this would necessarily be quote unquote a haunting, but yeah, you've done well. This is definitely real Melody.
I'm not gonna fill the galleries with fakes.
I mean, I don't think you would, but some things are going to be purported to be what they are, and trails of investigation might fail or whatnot. But yes, I don't think this would be. This doesn't have an energy about it, but I was just curious. And as October stands up, the last of the sigil on the floor dissipates, leaving it clean.
I appreciate that your spells are clean. It would have been quite a pain to get that out of the carpet. My worry, at least from this set of galleries, was the Dutchman's figurehead. It had some unusual energies when I brought it in, but I haven't seen anything come of it since. But that's the one I've been watching closely.
Well, we can always take a closer look, since we kind of just had an overview of things.
If you wouldn't mind, your talents would be quite useful here, I believe.
All right, I head over to the Grim Reaper from the Flying Dutchman.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna just start with investigate as opposed to going right to using magic.
Okay.
Liam will help. Let me roll that quick. Liam might actually help. Let's see. 9.
So, yeah, with the 9 for help, that is.
You get a
You
plus
get the
1,
help.
but I
You get a +1.
expose myself to trouble or danger.
Okay. Okay.
Well, with that +1, that's another 12.
Okay. So what are you looking to? Are you just looking to get like vibe check off of the?
Yeah, it's definitely like, I think rather than pulling out chalk and using magic specifically, October pulls out in another situation they might use incense, but being in the museum, I think they pull out like a crystal or something and just kind of get a vibe check.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with a 12, the vibe check definitely like off this thing. It smells of brine. There's like little dried out barnacles on it. The Grim Reaper itself is cast again in this like wrought iron, which is worn away at certain parts from the salt water that it's constantly exposed to, and yet that has seemingly made it only more fearsome. As this scythe that it carries is more jagged looking, almost like it's going to slash out at you, this skeletal face that is worn away under this hood. The ship, the plank itself seems to have like that smell of low tide just stuck to it, and it gives bad vibes. You find yourself looking into the hollow eyes of the Grim Reaper skull. However, more than that, Liam, I think you're picking up on that exposure there, where you start to hear sea shanties and shouting and howling of sailors in pain. You hear the crashing of waves, you hear the firing of cannons, and once again finding yourself in this devilish room, you hear a voice say, "Ah, I should have known you're more of a joiner. Well, part of the ship, part of the crew then. Aye."
I can be a
And
pirate? Pirate bot.
in October, you start to hear part of the ship, part of the crew, and you're wondering where it's coming from until you realize that it's coming from behind you. Or once again, Liam in the devilry room is like eyes rolled back, chanting something to themselves, and you're definitely like you're getting the bad vibes off of this thing. Like you're starting to pick up with your natural connection to magic on those same sounds, the same sounds, but then the crashing waves and the creaking timbers, but then you start to hear it coming from the Grim Reaper as well. That whispery part of the ship, part of the crew, until it's creating like this chorus between the two.
I definitely. So first thing I think is I'm going to ask one of our companions to somewhat, like, she turns and looks at Liam and is just like, someone get them out of here.
I can do that.
And then with investigate a mystery, because I rolled so well, I can ask 2 specific questions. So I think the first one is going to be with this figurehead of the Grim Reaper. What sort of creature is it, if it's a creature?
Okay. The chanting at least stops from the Grim Reaper, and like that kind of iron wrought face turns a little bit towards you, as even Liam behind you, being pulled away, stops the chanting. And the voice says to you, "I am death. I am the great fallen star. Or a servant to him, at least. But I am no threat to you.
To get Liam away, I think Melody kind of quickly steps up to Liam, and there's a flutter of wings, and both of them disappear. I am intending to bring us to my office, which I think is warded with probably angelic sigils. But when I bring someone with me, I have to roll for it.
Okay.
On weird, which is my worst stat, because I try not to embrace my angel side. Okay. So that was an 8. So on a 7 to 9, you don't quite manage it. Either you are all separated or you all appear in the wrong place. So my intention is to go to my office. So either one of us does, neither of us does. I don't know. That's up to you.
What I'm going to say is, Melody, you absolutely do make it back to your office. Warded sigils, that slightly glowing, like right as you enter, kind of just the recognition of your presence. Liam's not with you. And Liam, what I'm going to say is, you find yourself somewhere separate that we're going to determine when we come back from break. I definitely want to get Cass's second question here, but we will figure out where Liam ends up here in just a moment. So October, what was the second question you had for the Flying Dutchman's head figurehead?
I was originally going to ask what could hurt it, but based on what I got from my first question, I think I'm going to go with... Well, actually, because I got 12, what does this figurehead know about what's been going on since it has chosen to talk to me?
Okay. So we're asking what's been going on at the museum. Was that right?
Yes.
Yes. It occurs that with all of the power here, not just that I contain, which is to say substantial, we've been collected for a purpose. Not sure yet what that purpose is, but this is quite a collection. Are you looking to be part of the collection as well? You'd fit right in.
I'm much more of a collector than a collection. I appreciate how forthcoming you've been.
Well, it's not the first time we've met, I think.
She just smiles slightly and then turns around. Because Melody and Liam left in a, hurry.
Let's go ahead and take our break there. When we come back, Liam, I think you open your eyes, the chanting has kind of stopped, and again, you're kind of like blinking yourself back into consciousness. It's been a weird day for this poor moth person. But you find yourself surrounded by shiny things, literally everywhere. And a woman's voice goes, "Oh, I didn't see you there. Hello." And as you wake up in the gift shop, that's where we'll come back. Stick around for about 10 to 15 minutes as we go and take a break. Enjoy our ad reel. Thank you so much for the donations that you've done already. It goes towards this great cause. And we'll be back shortly. Do the things. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Monster of the Week, A Night in the Museum here on Sword and Key. Again, we are raising money for National Alliance for Mental Illness, NAMI. So if you do have a couple extra bucks just burning a hole in your pocket and don't know where to put them, you can put them here, and maybe you can get a little tax break, because that's a nice thing. They send you a little thing, and you can send it in February to whoever prepares your taxes if you don't prepare your taxes, and go, hey, look, give me $5 back, government. And the government goes, yeah, all right. At least that's how it works in the U.S. They don't tell you where it goes unless you live in a better country. Anyway, so we were playing Monster of the Week, Night at the Museum. You all have explored a little bit of the museum so far. You've at least seen Dragon Fossil. You've explored the world of monsters. But in an attempt to rescue your mothy friend, you hold on. What does that mean? I have a complication to help everyone out. Okay, I get it. Okay, so we have two complications. Good to know. We'll be using those handily. But in an attempt to get your mothy friend out of some devilish danger, Melody tried to use some divine powers to kind of do a sort of like fast travel teleport sort of thing. It didn't work the way it was originally intended. And so, Liam, you find yourself surrounded by shiny trinkets, bright lights, glass cases full of jewelry and knickknacks, and maybe even keychains with your name on them. Like, just everything, the stuffed animals, just every possible, like, I want this but don't need this kind of thing. Shot glasses and t-shirts and everything else in the gift shop, along with a middle-aged woman with this very like big poofy hair. It's mostly like not natural red, like that super like bright cherry, like grenadine red, with like some gray streaks kind of coming in here and there. She's got a lot of makeup on, and she's wearing this leopard print kind of top. And she comes out from behind one of the cases and goes, "Oh, I didn't even see you there. Hello, hi, welcome to the gift shop. You've got a certain aesthetic going on. Would you like to buy a shirt with the devil on it?"
I mean, maybe there's so much shiny. I need to get back to Melody and Layla. I am here as a researcher, and there's so much shiny stuff. I gotta roll out under pressure.
Yeah. Oh, do you have the ADHDs? My boy Mikey, he has the ADHDs. I got him a job here.
I think I met him earlier.
He's a good boy when he tries.
That's a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna use luck again for
Okay.
a 12.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mostly call people by Mr., Mrs., or whatever their last names are. And, I'm trying to get down with the pronouns. I'm trying. I'm just not sure where to go, because I've got the two options. I guess I'm got to be an ally.
Personally, I find that Milady is very cool.
Oh, I'll start using that. Is that what the kids are doing? Okay, all right. Well, I'm Paula Palatino. I run the gift shop here. I'm the manager and only employee. So if you need anything to take home, if you want to show off like a nice piece of crystal rock, or perhaps a small statuette of a terracotta soldier. All these things and yours could be, all these things and more could be yours for probably a little too much, if I'm being honest. But I don't set the prices, even though I'm the manager and only employee.
Is any of it cursed?
No, it's a gift shop. I don't believe in curses. And she's like, I only believe in the one trip,
Okay. Okay, well, Paula, it was nice to meet you. I want to go this way. And then Liam just, like, quickly scurries out the
All
gift
right.
shop.
Kids
So
these days,
overwhelmed.
COVID
So
took all of their social skills. Okay. So Liam, you go running back into the hallway, probably about the time that October has wrapped up their conversation with the Beyond, and Layla might be walking out the hallway as well. Once again, you find yourselves in the hall of haunted paintings. Again, feeling like those eyes on you. What would the rest of you now a little split up? What would all of you like to do?
I think Layla will go out, and then seeing Liam. Oh, there you are. Oh, I thought you were with Melody. Oh, okay, I guess. Okay.
yeah, I ended up in the gift shop, and sorry, I just saw you with note to me. And there's lots of shiny stuff, and I was very good. I only asked if they were cursed or didn't touch anything, but I don't know where Melody went.
Well, I'm very proud of you for not touching anything. And as for, would Layla know where Melody's office is?
Yeah, I think we were establishing this the exterior tower. That's kind of
Yeah.
like, is that right, Anna?
Yeah, I think that's
Is it-
fine.
Yeah, it's either that or upstairs, which I don't really have a map for upstairs, but yeah, it could be either one of those, either the exterior tower, which I think you've worked enough in, you probably do have like some sigil set up in there, and then yeah, you probably do have a curator's office that will be set up upstairs.
Probably. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if Layla's not with you. If Melody's not with you. Chances are she either might be in another exhibit or she's in her office, maybe. Let's check there. Let's check her office first, because chances are she might have forgotten something there. And she might just be looking for something that, help you out a little, maybe.
October, we're going back to the tower. And he leads down the hallway.
Heading back to the tower, I am actually going to use one of the little complications here. Layla, you hear a voice kind of shout out from behind as you're walking. Oh, Layla, there you are. I was hoping to actually run into you. I had some questions I meant to ask, and you would turn to see a very well dressed, perhaps even like too well dressed, to where the suit has a print on it. The tie is just like perfectly matched, but also like a little audacious. Like there's a gold tie clip, and you would see Simon Long, your museum director, who is like early middle-aged Asian male. He absolutely is a business major, was a business major, and kind of like has that MBA kind of walk to him. Hi, who's your techno friend? Is that the proper, not into the scene stuff, who's big Britney Spears fan back in the day. Taylor Swift now,
Yes. This is an associate of myself and Miss Solomon. They've offered to help us regarding the problem that we're having, manpower problem that we're having.
Oh, of course, yes. Well, budgets are budgets, so I do want you to know that all of your services are done pro bono, just right off the bat. I don't remember this being okayed, but you know what? Stamp of approval, okayed it right now.
Yes.
So great to have you, consultant. I don't need to learn your name, you're only here for a little bit of time. Yes, so, Layla, I definitely wanted you to go and check out the Inkinos exhibit. And you just give it a look over. You are our resident. What's your title?
Resident Egyptologist.
Yes. Yeah, yep. So I was
Yes,
hoping you'd go
yes.
in there and just kind of, you know, maybe add some cobwebs, but like Egyptian cobwebs, just really try to authenticate it, you know? Give some good old mummy curses, you know what I mean?
Right. Yes, Egyptian cobwebs. I'll get on that as soon as possible, Director Long. And she said that
Wonderful.
with like the most customer service smile she can give. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll get right on that immediately.
Perfect. Perfect. I love to hear that. Absolutely, yes. And if you need anything from me, I will be in the managerial office, making sure that all of our stubs are prepared and all of our everything's lined up for the gala, really. And well, again, balancing budgets. It's the
Of
never-ending
course.
task. Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. No, these cufflinks don't pay for themselves. Real diamond. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay. Well, speaking of real diamond, I'm gonna go listen to some Neil Diamond, and I will hopefully not run into you again tonight. All right, toodles.
Liam is gonna try and steal one of the diamond cups.
Like Layla is definitely gonna hold them back from that. Like, no, he loves those diamonds with a passion. Do not even attempt it.
But so shiny.
I
Oh,
know, I know, I
okay.
know, but he really,
Okay.
really loves those things. Trust me. Mommy's will show him a thing or two about mommy's curses. I swear to God.
Are there
Listen, you.
specific mummy cobwebs, or was he making that up?
Uh, he. Let him believe that there are certain mummy cobwebs. I mean, for all he knows, there might as well be. You
Ooh,
know.
does that mean we get to go to a party store and then make it look cheap?
Hmm. I have a way I can help with that, but first let's find Melody first, and then we can work on whatever the director wants to do. So I think
Okay.
we'll
Healy
continue
song.
making our way to to the tower, probably. Just
Yes. Probably run into Melody. I'd have to imagine, who realized once getting there in like the blink of an eye that that she was alone. So yes. What would you all like to do as you've kind of cobbled the group back together?
I think as Melody came up, she had a cart with all of the loan files from everything we've brought in for this exhibit. Has a few of them like tabbed with sticky notes, trying to figure out what the connection is.
For sure. Um, yeah, you would also know that there's one. Actually, go ahead and as you're looking through all of this, go ahead and roll for investigate a mystery, so you can ask a couple of questions about it.
I would like to help out just in
Sure.
case. Yeah.
While they're investigating,
Mhm.
October needs to find an open window.
Okay. No open windows in the museum. The two ones on either end of the hallway are stained glass. However, there are open doors to the north and south.
Alrighty, that is a 7 on the help.
Okay. So with a 7 to 9, that's a +1. However, Abishek's character will be exposed to a little bit of uh, harm or danger.
Love
Okay.
that.
With the +1, that is a 12.
12, fantastic. Okay. So, with a 12, you're kind of like scanning down through the list of everything, and you notice that there's I mean, everything here, as far as it came across your table and the tables of your peers, seems to be pretty legit. I mean, a lot of this stuff is like quote unquote said to be, purported to be. And so the legitimacy is kind of like, we can put this on display because it's folkloric, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be validated because it's scary enough that it just looks like it, that it's said to be this thing. All the stuff in the monster exhibit, all of the stuff in the with the devil exhibit, um just to kind of like give you the rundown of everything. Some of the main artifacts you have in the those refuse to die, those who would not die section. You have a mirror that was said to belong to Mary, Queen of Scots, who is the Bloody Mary. So Bloody Mary's own mirror that said that, it kind of like has low light around it. It said that if you say Bloody Mary, you will see her in it, and that's part of the exhibit where, is it a trick of the light? Are you actually seeing her? Some people say they do. There is the stained ivory bathtub of Countess de Bathory, who was said to be like one of the real world vampires who bathed in blood. There is a gargoyle, a set of gargoyles actually, from Huska Castle, which is a castle in Romania that is built with all of its fortifications facing inwards on a hole in the ground that is said to go straight to hell. And so it is a castle built literally around a hellmouth. There is an empty coffin said to belong to Vlad Tepes, the original Dracula, as well as some stakes that were said to be found outside of Dracula Castle that might have been used by the Impaler himself. In the Black Magic section, there is Clarent, the sword of Mordred that was said to slay King Arthur, which is this very aged Britannic sword. There's a copy of apparently one of the original copies of the Necronomicon, paired with a curved sacrificial dagger, and is written in some sort of eldritch language, as the book is actually opened to a page with this like horrible monster scrawled across it in this language that no one's deciphered. There is a cauldron that was said to be used by Baba Yaga, and pipes said to belong to the Pied Piper of Hamelin. The Hall of Heroes has the spiked armor said to belong to John Lambton, who slayed the Lambton Worm. A petrified club said to belong to the figure who Hercules was based off of. The Bowie knife of Quincy Morris, which was said to slay the vampiric Dracula, and an exorcism kit from the Vatican. Otherwise, I think that's the main. You've seen all the other main things, and as you're piecing together, like the Hall of Heroes has like it's definitely connected to monsters. There's a couple of kitschy things there. There's some suits of armor in the undead section as well. There's the Tomb of Inkinos, which you're not necessarily the predominant expert. That would be Layla, who would definitely know that Inkinos is it's set in the actual like sarcophagus, but the sarcophagus is like 15 feet long. That Inkinos was said to be a giant, and even more than a giant, was said to be a werewolf. That perhaps even that Inkinos was an ancient figure that Anubis was based off of. And the sarcophagus, the unopened sarcophagus, doesn't depict a humanoid face. It has a pointed muzzle, a jackal-like face to it, as if it would be made for some sort of dog person. And again, is very large. And all of the walls and everything were like reclaimed from this tomb that they found, which depict a lot of hieroglyphics showing that Inkinos was like this terror, said to be perhaps the son of Anubis in certain translations, and was just like absolute just horror of the ancient Egyptian world. And you have that as well. But in addition to all of that, as you're connecting all of these legitimate things, all of these great pieces of power and evil and some real messy magic, should it ever escape, you also notice that there's a few items that have been blacked out with Sharpie on this list that you have, this original manifest. Just 3 items. You're not exactly sure what they are. It's kind of hard to see on the paperwork that you have, but whoever was going through the manifest first scribbled those out. and just listed them as in collections. But you also know that working in collections, you don't have any extra things sitting around.
I'll show that list to everyone. Somebody mark some stuff out. And it's not currently in collections, so I'm not sure where it would be.
As you start showing the list to everybody, you notice that Liam is not there.
Where is Liam?
Liam has been dragged by the shininess of the Inkonos exhibit. Because I just noticed that each time I use luck, my curse gets stronger.
Then yeah, as the paperwork is going around, Liam, you have found your way into the recreated tomb of Inkanos and are kind of standing before this sarcophagus that is almost as tall as you are. Like again, about 15 feet long. Takes up the room really, like, and well, it has like this little kind of short wall around it, not a wall, but like a banister, almost like a railing around it. You could reach out and touch it very easily, but it's heavy stone. You can see the muzzle. You can see the gold kind of glinting off of the walls from some of the treasure that was buried with this mummy, and the hieroglyphics on the wall as well.
I have the auto 12 plus success in my pocket, but I'm gonna roll anyways for my act under pressure. Finally, I rolled really well. I rolled 2 6s, so that's an 11.
Yay.
Okay, good job. What were you rolling for? Under just to be scared?
Act under pressure. Yeah, to being drawn to any of the shiny stuff, to just stare at it.
Cool. Okay. It is getting later in the day as Liam is able to break back to the rest of the party. It seems almost as if, like, sundown is creeping ever closer by not just by the second, but almost like it's that the clouds are kind of creating this overcastness to where it's like the light streaming in from those stained glass windows has darkened ever quicker. What would you like to do?
Is the items that were marked out, can we tell where they came from? Is there somebody I can call? Is it from another institution? Is it from a private collector? Is that redacted as well?
That's a good question. I think with the 12, we'll say that you can see that the manifest shows them as being imported from China. It says from a private collection, but the private collection is also blacked out. But the manifest didn't go all the way over to where you can see the museum of origin for most of them, and at least the country code. They didn't black out the country code. This is coming probably from central China.
Somebody went to great lengths to hide whatever these objects were. I didn't choose these. Everything that I chose is on the list currently. These were added by somebody.
And I also apologize. Please, Cass, go ahead.
Who else would have the pull to do that?
Do you recognize the handwriting?
Well, it's just marked out in Sharpie.
Oh, I thought it was like added in hand.
No, I mean, well, aside from us, I mean, there's the director, obviously, but would he?
I still want his shiny hand cufflinks.
I also apologize. I keep playing this like D&D to where I'm just telling you stuff. You get to ask questions. So, and you did roll a 12, which does mean that you get to ask 2 questions, I believe, and they don't have to necessarily be from that list. So,
I do have a question. I'm trying to figure out how to go about it within the narrative to figure it out, because my question is, what is being concealed here?
Okay. I think what is being concealed here is that this collection has been brought here for a specific purpose. What that purpose is cannot yet be determined from the information you have. However, the artifacts that are missing are probably very key to whatever the overall concealment is. So there are artifacts that are missing. They were brought to this museum. They're not where they're supposed to be, and they're not they're not being put on display. So they must be hidden somewhere else.
Absolutely.
But yeah, those artifacts are likely the hinge point.
Is the manifest dated?
Yeah, we can say it's, what, like a couple of weeks, maybe a month prior to when you received everything, or like, yeah, when you would have received everything. It is dated appropriately, we'll say.
Okay. Perhaps we should check with security. Burt Reynolds may have. He's still using VHS. He may have backups of that day. We could see what happened to it. And my question is, where did it go? Kind of finding it out that way.
All right. Yeah, you would probably find Bert in the security office.
Bert, hello. Do you have security footage for the state?
Yes, yes. Actually, kind of funny. That's one of the few tapes that I still do have. That hadn't been melted. Let's see. He's got like a shelf of just like VHSs, and he's like, he opens one of them. Oh no, sorry, that's an old Blockbuster. Should have taken that one back. Maybe they wouldn't have gone out of business. Let's see. Yes, I need to get a label maker and not just try to write in Sharpie. Or dry erase marker, actually, because they kind of rub off sometimes. But yeah, no, I keep at least a month back, and he'll pop in the VHS, and it's going to pop up on the screen like a number of cameras that are all kind of like set into their little boxes. And he goes, "Oh, let's see. How do you zoom in on this thing? Is it Control Alt Delete? I think that's it." Mickey will kind of, he's like, yeah, I got this. All right. What are you trying to look at? You trying to look at who came in that day? You trying to look at like
The
what came
loading
in that day?
dock.
Loading dock. Yes. Yes. And bada boom, and he will pull the loading dock. And you can see that there are a number of trucks that are being pulled in. You can see that there are a number of workers that are offloading the boxes, and standing out there, kind of like just chatting up everybody, and with a clipboard in hand, you see your museum director, Simon Long.
What are you doing out there? Can we follow where these boxes go?
Sure.
Do we have enough cameras for that?
Yeah, no, I got you. He's gonna click over into the loading docks proper, and you can see that there are boxes that are kind of labeled like, fragile, or, some of them might even have like the, do not open kind of on them. There's even some that, have like certain stamps from their country codes. Uh, you notice that, like, as the video fast forwards, as all the workers have kind of dropped everything off, Simon's just kind of walking around. He like taps one of the boxes with his pointed toe shoe, and just kind of idling about a little bit. He notices seemingly a box that has like Chinese script on it, and walks over to it. And weirdly enough, he's kind of stilted as he's doing this. He sets the clipboard, actually just drops it on the ground, and goes over and picks up a crowbar and pries the box open. And as he goes to kind of slide it back, you see this glint on the camera that seems to grow wider and wider and wider until it's whited out the entire camera lens. Every other camera, as you're looking at the smaller boxes, is still working. And then, Mikey looks at that. He goes, "That's kind of weird. Let's fast forward." And about 10 minutes go by, and the camera finally just snaps back into, black and white, just as it was. The box is sealed, as if it was never opened. Um, and the director is still standing there, but there's a strangeness to his posture, and he looks up at the camera, and it's almost like that like shining white light can be seen in his eyes just for a second, and he goes walking off camera back into the museum proper.
That complicates things. Thank you both for that. That covered pretty much what we needed to see.
Oh, I'm so glad. If you're able to watch, let's see, Night of the Living Dead, I've got that one. I've got that. I've got, yeah, I've got all the classics, except the movies that have Burt Reynolds in them because he stole my name.
Understood. Well, we have a busy night ahead of us. Lots of research to do.
Yeah, don't work too late or nothing.
Of course not. I'll give Layla a look, and then head out of the security office.
Layla will definitely follow behind her, just kind of sharing that same kind of grim look. Okay, that's not good.
Kind of once we're out clear, yeah, in one of the galleries. Well, that's a problem. We need to do something about that.
Thinking back, when Layla did meet Director Long earlier, did she kind of notice that same kind of glint in his eyes that they saw on the camera feed?
I'm going to say no. I think there's something about him that's just kind of off-putting in the first place, that like making eye contact with just doesn't feel great. It didn't feel great even a month before this, but he gives off a certain energy that I'm going to say probably appears better on camera than it does in person.
Fair. Yeah. God. Okay, so the question is, where should we start? Should we talk to the director? Should we look for that box? Should we?
I mean, if something is possessing him or something along those lines, I can banish it, but we need to know what it is before I do that.
Could Liam use read a bad situation to kind of think back on the interaction with the director and then what we just saw?
Sure.
I'm a roll, but I still have that 12 plus success in my background.
Mm-hmm.
You also have luck on your side too, to be fair.
Okay, that was more snake eyes, so I'm gonna use the 12 plus I was given.
Okay. Fantastic. So on a 12 plus, you can ask, let's see, you may ask Keeper any questions you want about the situation, not just the listed ones. So
was there anything about the director that shouted like bad guy or up to no good?
yes, but in a capitalistic sort of way. I'm gonna say that I think the vibe that Liam got off, especially about the director, was greed. Like I think that like this guy basically was just, everything about him was, here's my fine suit, here's the jewelry that I'm wearing, here's all the things that I have, and I'm just looking to get more. It's not enough yet. Like everything about him was finery, but also a lack of satisfaction with that finery.
So I feel like the director, whatever he has done, it was done because he received money or materialistic goods for whatever he allowed in here. So I don't think he's necessarily like bad. He's just greedy and was used by somebody bad.
I think that last
Something-
part especially is a good interpretation of it. I think that he's giving off like he's always been greedy. He now seems to have like almost a supernatural sense of greed.
Maybe he has a curse like me, because I love shiny things. Maybe he, like, money and shiny things is his.
Perhaps. I can banish things like that. However, I have no control over where they go. So it would be best if we kill it if we can. Probably shouldn't harm him though.
I will note, Liam, you do have plus, or you have a hold 2 currently, and you
Okay.
can use those. You can use those later, or you can use either of those to ask an additional question.
From what we have seen overall this evening, what has Liam perceived to be the biggest threat?
Biggest threat is somebody using everything in this museum all at once. The biggest threat is that this museum, it feels like a supernatural time bomb in the center of a major metropolitan area. Everything in here is legit. Everything in here can be used individually or even more dangerously in conjunction to cause a lot of harm to a lot of people.
Yeah, it was very, very well thought out of what to put together to make this bad. I think one of the courses of actions we have to do is nullify somehow the interconnectedness that has happened. Because this person knew exactly what to put together to make things go boom soon. And we don't want big bada boom.
No.
Problem is, if he's possessed, he might not remember what he did. If he's not possessed, he would probably lie about it.
You have any magic that might help us in this situation?
I mean, I also could banish. If he's possessed by a spirit or has been cursed, we could trap him in his office. Because I would assume the artifacts aren't in his office. And if he's the one doing whatever's going to happen. But we also don't know if is this going to happen tonight or some other time.
Probably the gala. He has been
It-
quite focused on that.
Very, very focused on it. Almost. The gala would definitely be his best time to execute whatever it is he's planning. Let me stop him now.
We could distract him, sneak into his office, and see what we can find.
Is there a window in his office? Because I could fly up there and get in.
The director, half the wall is probably windows.
Yeah, it is the outside turret, but like in the same way that your offices have windows that have been converted into this castle. I mean, it's just up on the balcony, so it is a little bit higher than ground floor. But he has a door that you can access, just the same as a security office. But yes, he absolutely has had windows installed into the side of the castle.
Liam would like to fly up to one of the windows and see if he is in there, and if not, sneak in and see what they can find.
Okay. Let's see. Let's make this an investigate a mystery roll.
Dear God, double ones again. I'm using luck.
What is with your dice?
I don't know. So I used luck to change it to a 12.
Okay. I'm going to say with the 12 then, you were able to fly up and see that he is not in the office, and would also find that the door didn't latch all the way as he was leaving, where it would otherwise be locked. So as you walk in, in your investigating mystery, you can ask, let's see, on a 10 plus, you can ask 2 questions, and they do not have to. Actually, I'm sorry, you got a 12 plus, so you can ask 2 questions, but not just the questions that are listed.
All right. Do I see any artifacts that look like it could have transferred a possession to the director?
Yes. So looking around, you can see that there is like a finely carved mahogany desk that you would like see the first thing you walk in as the director sitting there. He's got a couple of plants. He's got a large kind of large window behind him, a large window that would be to his left. His nice, very comfortable office chair. Looking around this square office, you would see that there's these very fine paintings in here. There's like, an ancient Greek helmet that is set in like a plinth, and he seems to kind of like collect the things that are like really nice that the museum gets and kind of hold them for himself. With a couple of like very basic chairs for people that sit in that might talk to him. And as you're looking around and trying to like take everything in, you do note that behind his desk, almost directly behind where he sits, something a bit out of place, in the sense that he has taken like this Persian-esque looking tapestry rug, something like that, and has laid it over something that has been covered up, and it doesn't match the aesthetic of anything that is like fancy, well put together, straight, organized, everything like that. It's bulky, it's weird. Why is it back here? And would you like to pull the covers from it?
Absolutely.
Great. As you do, you expose this glinting gold and red enameled vase-like object. It has the heads of 4 Chinese dragons extending down their snake-like bodies, kind of set into 4 points of this otherwise like rounded kind of vase, and this golden lid that is somewhat conical set on the top of it. It is inscribed all the way down with Chinese script, ancient Chinese script that I'm not sure you necessarily would recognize. But
Can I use my other from my plus 12 on investigate to know Chinese?
To just know Chinese? Sure, why not? We could say that the Mothman knows Chinese. Reading the script down on this is definitely ancient Chinese script, and as you're kind of piecing together everything on it, it seems as if this is a dragon spirit box, that this was used to contain the spirits of some of the most vile longs or evil dragons to exist in ancient China, that 4 of them were contained within this box, and that should this vase ever release them, that they would enact their dark wills upon the world.
I'm absolutely taking this with me and going to show it to everybody else.
Okay, so you pick up this like massive Chinese vase, because it is pretty sizable too. This thing's probably like about 3 feet
Half my
tall.
size.
Yeah. So I need everyone to imagine the Mothman as a scene kid carrying a giant vase outside of museum, back through the main doors, just kind of hopping with it. But yes, you would return to the rest of your party in the rotunda there.
He's possessed by a dragon. It was in here.
You should take that someplace where he's not going to stumble on us. Where's the place he'd least likely go? Like where does work get done?
The
most?
janitorium.
That's actually a great question, but I do have another complication. So I'm going to say that as you ask that question, he says, "Well, you could just put it back. That would be really appreciated, and that way I could make your deaths quicker." And you're going to see as Simon Long walks in from the back balcony, just kind of like rubbing his hands together a little bit. I had really hoped I wouldn't have to kill some of my best employees.
I mean, if you thought
Oh,
you
well.
were your best employees, you could have paid us more. But I mean, oh well.
I could have.
The pizza
That's-
parties are a cliche for a reason.
You know, I was not that worried about morale when I started killing people, so pizza parties were the best you were going to get. But that was then. Now, I'm just going to kill you all. Just a few more on the pile.
Any chance we could convince you to just give up? I really would rather not fight.
No, no. In the words of the 4 dragons who possess me, Shidi Shijin Dawa, it's time to die. And that we're going to head and jump into combat here, which is a little different than D&D. So let me put on some battle music for y'all. You all find yourselves in the rotunda next to the dragon statue, or the dragon fossil, rather. Let's go ahead and do this one. So, the way that combat kind of works in Monster of the Week, I'm going to pull this up here. So, let's see, we got 109. I believe you will basically like get your group turn. You can use kick some ass. You can also like read a bad situation if you are trying to figure out like vulnerabilities or anything like that. You can always help a hunter, you can protect someone, and you can always use your weapons or unarmed attacks, or whatever your archetype abilities might be. So when it comes to harm, you deal a certain number of harm. All monsters have a certain number of harm. Monsters kind of just hit more often than not, and you will have armor to reduce those hits. Some monsters might have armor as well. There's also healing that you all can do. So let's go ahead. If one of you would like to roll, we can at least contest to see who's going to go first. We can do 2d6 versus 2d6. So if one of you would like to roll from there,
I am not gonna roll.
I guess I'll roll.
okay.
Nine.
Okay. I got a 10. So Simon will go
damn.
first. Simon is going to, his eyes are actually starting to glow the same way you saw on the camera before. His mouth opens and like this strong wind begins to expel from his open mouth, and you hear this like low, almost like non-audible like hum, this thrum that you almost like feel in your bones more than you hear in your ears, and it kind of emanates throughout. It like shakes the windows, but emanates throughout the museum, and you begin to hear movement in several corners of the museum.
Damn it.
I figured I might make this a little more difficult for you all and have a little bit of help. You know, it's pays to employ the right kind of people, of course. That is it for his turn for this. So you all can kind of go on a group turn, deciding if you would like to pair up and deal things out however you like.
Liam does want to use read a bad situation to try and figure out if they could do anything with this vase.
Sure, yeah.
That was only a 6, so I'm going to use more luck.
Okay.
I'm 2 away from doomed, y'all.
No!
But with that 12 plus, I would first like to know if I can figure out somehow to try and get the spirits out of him and back into the vase.
Okay. So you absolutely can. That can be one of your questions. I'm going to say yes, especially in conjunction with what Melody was telling you about banishing and not knowing where they would go. You now have the place for them to go.
All right, October, if you can use banish, and banish the spirit back into here, we should be gravy. My other question is best way to protect my group.
As you look around and see that several of the artifacts in the museum have been brought back to undeath.
Sentience.
Yes, just life. Yeah. I would say that even as the dragon fossil begins to move and arc its head towards you, protection is going to be a little tough, but probably taking out the person who has animated all of them will be the priority over all of the minions he has now brought to his side. As you can see, the arm of Grendel is pulling itself along, very Addams Family thing-like. The several knights' sets of armor have animated and are moving towards you. You also hear a heavy, it's like stone on stone, this heavy, reverberation through the ground as what you believe is probably the sarcophagus head of Inkinos has moved from its place as well. So you'll also have to deal with a giant mummified werewolf here momentarily. So quite a bit, but there's one ringleader to it all.
All right, I got the vase. We'll banish into the vase. Layla and Melody, try and take out dude. That's about all the plan I got.
Oh, you
October.
have to tell me twice.
Should
And I
I,
stand there holding the vase.
October, should I buy you
Pop open.
time, keep the minions off of us, or do you want me to pin him down? What would be best for you?
Well, you said you could also banish, so I also was going to try and slow down the minions, so I think we can do either of those things. Do you have a preference? What are you better at?
I mean, I'm fairly good at banishing, but I can also hold my own kind of toe to toe with something. So if that
Well,
would
I was
be
gonna
more
try
helpful
and
here.
set up like a ward to block passage to us a little bit, so
That could work.
rather than having to fight all the minions.
That would be easier. I will take care of him then.
I'll help you out. She'll say that to Melody.
Okay. So what would you like to do?
So it seems like we're in the main entrance then, or
I had you all placed in the rotunda. So in my head, you're kind of around the dragon fossil. Since you had,
that's a lot worse. Okay.
Especially since Liam had kind of left you to check out the management office. It kind of made sense that you were either near where the stairway and the dragon fossil, probably right around there.
Like,
Okay.
I will fight the dragon fossil if that's better, if you want to banish him.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so we're in the Hall of Heroes, more or less, by the rotunda.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll still try this and see if it works. So, October digs out this huge, thick, leather-bound tome with all these all these various symbols on it, and as they move towards the edge of the hallway closest to the rotunda, the pages start to open on their own, and she starts to use magic. I'm going to attempt to place basically like a magic force field between us and all the minions that are coming from that side of the hallway, further from the rotunda and further beyond.
Sure.
That is, wait, I have a +3, so that is 12 again.
Okay. 12 absolutely succeeds. So, I'm sorry, one more time. Where's the barricade going?
You know what? I will draw a line.
Perfect.
The barricade is there.
Okay. So you now find yourselves kind of with Simon, I'm going to say, is right here by the rear balcony. You have the dragon fossil, bunch of minions kind of on the other side here, and a barricade to protect you. Or you do have at least the undead stuff and the black magic stuff on your side. So
My
that,
apologies. I still misunderstood where we were.
but you're fine.
If
Lost off some of it, so I'll take it, honestly.
Well, but if we're up at near the rear balcony, then I would have placed the barricade here instead.
I was
really
saying Simon
separate.
Yeah, Simon's
Okay.
right there. I was thinking you all were right there.
Okay.
So that would have separated Simon out from the rest of you. So you are protected from him as well as everything else besides the 2 rooms that are on the other side of the barricade with you. Is that what you would like to do?
No.
Okay. Here. Let me put a let me drop a token. And maybe that would help. You guys get to be Naga for some reason.
I'll take it, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's drop that. So where I'm gonna put the token right there. Where would you like it to be? Where would you all like to be located?
I
might
was
have
thinking
dragon
we
on
were
my ship,
like
but let's see.
near the dragon fossil, but like above that line that they had drawn like closer to the rear balcony. Like they had all been coming back down, or that's
Okay.
where we had kind of met, and then I
Okay.
flew off to the management office.
Okay. So right where the token is now?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I would delete my lines if I could, but I don't.
Let's see.
Get clear drawings.
You can
line
do
things
clear
somewhere.
drawings and text. There we go. So if you want to redraw from there, go for it.
Yeah. So, considering he was talking to us, I assumed we were closer to him.
Mhm.
So, like, if we're up there where the Naga marker is, and he's also in here, then I would try and do the block off most of what could come at us.
Sure. We can say then he is the dragon token. That makes sense. So yeah, you all are pretty much right next to each other, with a barricade that's protecting you from essentially the rest of the museum. So very well done. Okay. Who is next?
Melody, I think, will kind of step out of her vintage heels and begin chanting a short prayer in a language long forgotten. Put her hand up to her chest and draw it down. And as she does, a silver spear of just shining light kind of pulls out of her chest into her hand as she starts striding towards the director.
Liam is drawn to the light.
And I'm going to attempt to banish him. And I
Okay.
think this looks like she lunges forward with this spear, the intention of like pinning his shoulder to the wall to start like the banishment action.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
Which is
give
a
me
move I
roll.
have.
I love that.
I don't know if you want to count harm for this spear but the banishing action, cast out evil, is a move in and of itself.
Okay. We can do some harm with it as well, and kind of see what that looks like. But yeah, let's.
Okay.
What is the banishment action? What's the language on that?
Yeah. So my spear does 3 harm, and it's wholly in silver. And then the cast out evil, you may banish an unnatural creature from your presence. Roll plus tough. At 10 plus, it's banished. On a 7 to 9, it takes a little while for the banishing to take effect. The creature has time to make 1 or 2 actions. Either way, the banished creature is unharmed, and you have no control over where it goes.
Okay.
And the move may be used on unnatural hunters, e.g. the monstrous. On a miss, something is keeping it there. That's bad.
Okay. Let's see what that roll is.
This is plus tough, which is my best stat. That is a 9.
Okay. So a 9. I'm sorry. One more time is.
On
You
a
haven't
7.
used your 10 plus that we were giving at the beginning.
Yeah, it's so anticlimactic though. Yeah, I'll use the 10 plus
Yeah.
to auto credit.
Okay, so the autocrit immediately banished. Is that right?
Um, yes, it is banished. So she pins him to this wall and continues. She's chanting the prayer now in, it sounds like 2 or 3 different languages on top of each other, almost in
Okay.
harmony as she's chanting it.
Okay. Cool. I love that. For the sense of it being too not or anticlimactic or whatever. What I will say this: you have banished the 4 dragon spirit from Simon Long, who will, aside from the spear that is in his shoulder, otherwise collapse and faint. He is not mortally wounded in any way, but you would watch as this ghostly, phantasmal 4 dragons, 4 longs, all intertwined with one another, would kind of exit his body as like part of him almost seems like he ragdolls as it does. He's still breathing as far as you can tell, but now you have these 4 dragon spirits that are going to, floating above you all, look down, and they are going to use fire breath on you. So we're going to see what that looks like. That is a 10 for them. So you are all going to be on fire and take an additional harm at the start of your next turns. Otherwise, you take. Let's see, what is the harm? You will take 4 harm.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use luck to avoid all harm.
Okay. How close to doomed are you now? Is it 1 away?
One
Just
away.
Okay. All right.
Oh my
I
god.
am also going to use luck to avoid all harm because that is a lot of harm.
Yeah, same with me.
I
So
think I'm gonna do that as well, honestly.
Okay.
yeah, when I use luck, it triggers something related to my mission. But I think a golden kind of ethereal shield kind of appears in the air in front of her with the sigil of her father on it. Yeah.
Okay.
For
Um,
Layla, apparently Deathless Special is a complication will arise during your next resurrection, so that's gonna be fun whenever that happens.
I'm even more drawn to Lamp.
Okay. The dragon spirit, having tried to breathe fire on all of you, and all of you kind of diving out of the way, you can now see that the minions are literally like just pounding at the spectral barrier. So you can see that there is a 15-foot tall werewolf mummy wielding an Oni's Kenobo that's kind of just like slamming at it, and you can see these cracks starting to ripple through. You can see the arm of Grendel just like scratching at it. There's there's a knight riding in the cauldron of Baba Yaga. Like they're using everything they can. The sword of Mordred is like slashing at it. So you're starting to see some cracks in that magic. Maybe a turn or 2 before they break through. What would you all like to do?
We need a plan fast.
How
One.
do we get those in here?
Layla didn't get to go when like the group went either.
Yeah,
Oh,
please.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think given how they were able to banish the spirits, I think Layla might take a. I think she's gonna read a bad situation to see if she can decipher anything regarding the vase, to try and see if you can find any sort of like incantation or something regarding it to try and see if you can funnel the spirits back inside.
Okay. You are an Egyptologist. You are a person who is used to like ancient languages, ancient puzzles. You're somebody who has lived for a very long time. Go ahead and let's call this. This could either be investigate a mystery, or it could be read a bad situation. Actually, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say this is act under pressure. This is
Act under pressure?
Yeah, definitely an
Okay.
act under pressure.
Same for me either way, so I'll take it. 7.
Okay, so act under pressure on a 7. I'm going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. What I am going to say is that as you are looking at this vase, you notice that the writing on it is spelled out vertically and is almost written in a way that you can read it both like top to bottom, but also bottom to top. And you realize that this isn't just a vase; it opens on both ends. And so much as the dragons were released by opening the top, you figure you can flip it upside down and open the bottom to put them back in.
Okay.
But doing so means that you have to get to that vase, open it, and then hold it open while 4 dangerous dragon spirits fly past you into it.
Honestly, she would take that risk. Honestly,
Okay.
death means nothing to her at this point, so
That
might as well.
if anyone was going to do it,
So she'll probably do that on the next on whatever her next turn is probably gonna be. So
okay. But we have gone through the whole turn order then, so we're back around to you all. Layla, if you want to do that first, or if there's anything else anyone wanted to do to try to help Layla in that task, now's the time.
Yes. So I'm assuming Layla, you know, when you figure that out, you tell us really
yes,
quickly.
she will like just like, hey, I have an idea on how to get them back in. Just follow my lead, I guess.
So October is going to grab a pouch and scatter some dust in front of Layla. I'm going to try and protect someone.
Okay,
Since
go
it
for
seems
it.
like Layla's gonna put herself in harm's way. That's a 6 because of the negative.
Okay.
Oh.
Was that a protect someone roll, or was that a use magic?
I mean, I was using magic, but I'm like
It
using
is
the
a
action
protection.
protect someone. So.
I got you. Okay. So, you are not successful. Okay. What I'm going to say is just to add to the effect of it, and the fact that you are all on fire, the powder actually ignites, much as like flour is wont to do as you go to take it out, and just as you are still a little singed yourself, you're actually going to take 2 harm on this turn. Who would like to go next?
Melody, I think, seeing the cracks in the ward, she hates fighting, but being a half angel, being a Nephilim, she is not defenseless. So she will, I think, kind of resolutely walk and place herself in between Layla and the ward that is starting to crack with all of the monsters on the other side. As she does, it almost looks like an etching across her skin, silver lines, tracing feathers in a sort of divine armor as she kind of takes a stance, holding her spear defensively to protect
Okay.
Layla if needed.
All right. Liam, anything you wanted to do before Layla goes for the vase?
I feel like with 1 luck away from doomed, I should probably roll act under pressure to see if I actually can avoid just being drawn to anything that my curse draws me to.
Sure.
You're fucking kidding me.
No!
That is a total of a 3.
No! Don't do it! Don't do it!
I'm gonna try and save my last luck.
So what does that look like? What are you drawn to?
I really think that the dragons kind of, because of the fire coming out of their mouth, are really bright and shiny. So
Yeah.
I'm a moth drawn to the flame, quite literally.
Okay. Great. So, Abishek, go ahead and roll for me to act under pressure as you go to open this vase. We will determine Liam's consequences here momentarily.
Alrighty. I got a stats on that. It's a 9.
Okay, so on a 9, we have an additional hard choice or price to pay or a worse outcome. What I'm going to say is, as you flip the vase over and open the bottom of it, kind of concealed almost in the bottom shape of this great vase. Anyway, um, you feel this very strong wind kind of pulling downwards, and you watch as the dragon spirit seems to be the only thing that's affected by it. It seems to kind of affect your environment, but you don't feel that pull. But the dragon spirit begins to strain, its fire breath kind of being pulled with it as it's reshaping. It's almost spaghettifying, like a black hole might do, as it's being ripped towards this thing. However, though it is phantasmal, it still has a physical nature to it, and it slams into Liam, pulling Liam along with it. You can see that Liam is going to be drawn into this vase along with it, unless you are able to do something in this last moment, and it is going to hurt both of you probably a lot.
I think. Let me see. Let me see if I move this. I'm trying to think if I have a move for this. So I have a thing that technically should have happened the moment the turn started. I want to
Sure.
see if I can try to flavor it to help Liam in some way,
Okay.
shape, or form. So because of Layla's curse, she, because of Layla's like curse to like live forever or whatever, she has a kind of a transformation that happens whenever she takes harm. So this should have happened at the beginning when she was on fire, but you sort of watch as the bandages that were around Layla's arms and neck slowly start to expand and envelop her, and almost appearing out of nowhere. Rather, like you see this entire mass of bandages, and where once stood Layla, you now see rather regal-looking Egyptian mummy.
Okay. All right. So yes, this regal Egyptian mummy, now revealed to all of you. The bandages kind of burned away. Um, Layla being drawn in. What would you all like to do?
Gonna see if I can. I was gonna see if I can use like a protect someone to like try and see if I can like kind of block Liam from like
Definitely,
you know
yeah.
getting it going in. So that's a plus tough. And that's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay. With an 8, for protect someone, that's 7 plus. So you are going to suffer some or all of the harm they are going to get. So what I will say is, as the dragon is being pulled down, as Liam is being pulled with it, this pharaoh, now revealed to all this ancient Egyptian, revealed to all of you, um, kind of is able to use this almost strength of immortality to pull Liam out of the way. But as they do, you hear this crunch as they are pulled in and kind of reshaped and again spaghettified into this thing. Abishek, that is going to be 6 points as you would watch Layla just disappears into this vase and seals directly afterwards. And as all of the animated objects and artifacts and relics all seem to kind of like crumple behind this magic wall, just about to shatter with this final Konobo strike, the dragon fossil kind of just collapses into this pile of bones. The knight's armor, all just like whatever was holding them together, they stepped out of, they just kind of collapsed down in this clatter of metal and desiccated flesh and everything, now just like this mess behind the wall. Simon remains unconscious, and you all stand victorious? Question mark. As one of your friends is nowhere to be seen.
I was so ready for Liam to be the doomed one, but damn.
And a few beats go by of just like this utter silence is now like this red moon shines in from the rear entrance, and night has officially fallen, and you begin to like feel this hum kind of like thrum through the museum, and you just hear the sound of a slow clap just begin behind you. And looking back, Melody, you might recognize this person. This person has visited you a number of times. Um, they have gone by a number of names in the past, but Gabriel, I think, is the one that they really prefer. Um, Gabe, as they have kind of shortened it to be more modern about it. Nevertheless, this angel, dressed in a simple suit, steps forward. Well, that was something, wasn't it?
It's really not a good time, Gabe.
It's actually...
Layla! No, it was supposed to be me!
It was. That's right. But, best laid plans. Yes, actually, it is the best time, Nephilim, because, well, as I am the voice of, I tend to speak with a level of authority, but I'm doing this as a personal favor to dear old Dad. And turns out your little immortal friend is in a bit of a sticky situation. Reincarnation's just messy, And, well, it's your problem now. If you would come with me, I have a car waiting.
And how does this deal with Layla?
Oh, we'll be dealing with Layla. Well, you all will be. Just, like I said, reincarnation is messy, and you don't always end up in the same place or form that you were originally. And I mean, how do you all feel about, the Middle East? Weird question. You're going there anyway, so I hope you don't mind flying commercial, and we'll get you more
Commercial. You're
details
the
later.
voice of God, and the best you could get us is commercial.
Listen,
Can I
do you
just
think
fly alongside the plane?
No. Thank you for asking, but no. In fact, I'm a little worried about you going through TSA in the first place, so we'll have to do something about that. But, yes, God is cheap. I don't know why this is a surprise. Do you think we pay priests?
I'm well aware of what the tribal stipend looks like. You do realize name dropping my father makes me even less happy to do this. But
I do, actually, yes. It's
I do owe it to Layla.
a little bit of fun for me. All right, then. Well, the dead wait for no one, and this can be somebody else's job to clean up. It points to, like, the catastrophe behind you.
For that, I'm kind of thankful.
With that, I think that's where we will end our one shot. A little bit of potential for a next one should we come back around to this next October. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to this wonderful cast for spending some time raising some money for NAMI. Thank you to you in the audience for joining us. I am going to have these lovely people go around and say where you can find more of them and a little bit about themselves, and I highly recommend that you check them out in any place you can. Cast them in your games, buy the stuff that they make it, support them on social media, all that cool stuff. Let's go ahead and start with Abishek. It is your turn. Go for it.
Hey everyone, my name is Abishek Watange. I go by he, him pronouns. I've been playing our lovely, now revealed to be immortal / trapped forever somewhere, Layla. You can find me on the bird site at neon_raiden. You can also find me using that same name on Blue Sky, just no__ there. I'm a voice actor and TTRPG AP performer who's a big tokusatsu nerd. So if you want to see me gush about that, just follow me on my socials. You can find me in other projects, mainly in Caldera Heart, the Void Heart Symphony podcast over on Goblins and Gaze. So if you're really a fan of Persona 5, highly recommend you check it out. It is a good time. I promise you're going to love it. You can also find me over on Nerds with Dice for the finale, whenever that gets scheduled, series finale for Iron Storm the Valley. So keep follow my socials for any announcement dates for that. And yeah, that's me.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Cass.
I'm Cassiopeia. You can find me on Blue Sky as Cassiopeia Twilight. If you want, you can also check out my itch.io page at the same name. I have a one-shot coming up in the next month that I can't really talk about more right now, but, you know, if you had fun here today, look forward to that.
Yes, we will absolutely look forward to when more details can be put up. Next up, we have Killian.
Hi, I have been playing your I love Lamp Moth person Liam today. And honestly, most of the bullshit is my fault. But you can find me on most sites. I have left the hellscape that is the Bird app. As Darthsurrealish everywhere else. I'm mostly on Threads and Instagram. I'm on TikTok under Darthsurrealish, but that's mostly me just being weird. You can catch me most of the time over on Spectrum TTRPG. Tomorrow is one of our Heirs of Olympus days where we play Power Rangers Meet the Greek Gods. And we just fought the Hydra in this new episode, so that's fun. Other than that, also on Spectrum TTRPG on Halloween, I will be running a one-shot of Killer Ratings, where our Spectre Inspectors team of supernatural paranormal investigators are investigating some place that's actually really fucking haunted, and the shenanigans that follow that.
Wonderful. That sounds so awesome. Last but absolutely not least, we have Anna.
I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG performer, producer, and podcaster. You can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bunny and everywhere else, including Instagram and Blue Sky at Archival Dust Bunny. I stream everywhere, so I'm not going to list everything off, just hit a few highlights. If you enjoy masks, you can find me in two different places, over on Thorny Dryad's channel for U-Force Inheritance. I play a protege with far too much responsibility on her shoulders with an amazing cast of characters and cast members over there. We are kind of in our Act 3, but all of the episodes are available as VODs on Thorny Dryad's Twitch channel. It's a really great masks game. That's a lot of fun that wheels wildly back and forth between humorous and heartbreaking. So if you enjoy that with your superheroes, check that out. And over on Friday nights, over on Exquisite Corpse Presents, you can find me in Metalloteens playing a doomed who brings inanimate objects to life using her own life force. It's a lot of fun and a little sad. If you enjoy teen drama and darker stories, over on Valdrin's channel, we have Morphs in the Dark, our Animorphs Blades in the Dark campaign. We are in our third season over there, but all of our stuff is available on YouTube if you want to catch up. But it's a pretty universal experience to jump into the middle of Animorphs with whatever book your school library had at the moment. So it's always a good time to jump in. There's a handful of charity games coming up for Extra Life and Roll for Charity and a few other places. So check out on social media where you can find me for those. And of course, if you like magical girls and queer narratives and finding hope again after devastating loss, check out Bloom and Blight, our Girl by Moonlight actual play podcast. The story follows the magical girl Team Bloom just mere months after their leader sacrificed herself to save the world. And the show kind of follows them and examines their grief and how it affects them and those around them while they still have the responsibilities to protect the city and the world. You can find us anywhere you normally get your podcast and on all social media at Bloom and Blight. And for cast and character information, transcripts, a link to our amazing community Discord, some fun downloadables very soon, and other stuff like that, check out bloomandblight.com.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Definitely check out Bloom and Blight. It's one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, thank you to all these wonderful people for the stuff they make, for spending time here, for raising money. Thank you to you for donating. Thank you to you for just hanging out. I am Derek Sword. I've been your GM for this game and many games here on Sword and Key. I am the sword half of Sword and Key, because Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. Thanks for asking, though. Yeah, looking at our calendar and what's upcoming, you can find everything at beacons.ai/sword and key. We've gone a little bit over, so I'm not going to take too much time with our calendar, but I will say that we don't really have anything else today. Tomorrow we do have at 10 a.m. Pacific time Humblewood Yonderbound, the return of Humblewood. They are fighting 2 wake worms in that. It's a big battle, but they're big levels. They shouldn't worry about it. And then after that we have the final one-shot for our October charity month, kind of. Stop Flaming Preps, which is a honey heist hack written by LD, who will actually be running the game, and it is about the infamous fanfic, Harry Potter fanfic, My Immortal, which is like early 2000s Gothic. It's very fun. Highly recommend checking that out. Other than that, we'll have Gate Night back on the 29th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. It plays every Tuesday. This week, since it's kind of like Halloween, some of our games have taken off just to celebrate. So definitely we'll have more stuff coming back on the first week of November, of all of November, essentially. So the 3rd through the 9th, we'll have all of our normal games back. We do have a couple of games that did get delayed for this month, so there still will be time into November to still donate to NAMI, including our Woodland Gods, a hack of our Woodland Gods at 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 8th, and the second part of A Night of Fright 2, which will be on November 17th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Other than that, Humblewood plays every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Our Journey to Bookend plays every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Gate Nights on Tuesdays. Zenith is Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Horizon's Call is 3 p.m. on Saturdays. So check all that stuff out. We also, you can, at beacons.ai/sword and key, you can join our Discord. You can hang out. We have movie nights every other week. We just finished up our weekly movie night for October, which were double features, but we'll have our next one on November 1st. We'll be watching Stardust, the 2007 movie based off the Neil Gaiman book. And then we'll have bi-weekly ones after that. So you can also just chat with cool people, talk about cool things, and also see applications to our games first. They go to our Discord before they go to our social media. So if you want to get a foot in the door quick, that's the best place to do it. We will have more applications out. So we're looking to raise money for Hopeness in December, and we've gotten some cool games sent to us that we would like to feature, including a game from Black Hats Gaming, Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, that I'm very excited about, since we do so much nautical and horror stuff, and that's pretty much all of it right there. Again, thank you to everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Have a safe Halloween if we don't see you before that. And thank you for raising so much money for NAMI this month. It's been really great, and it's great to support an organization that does so much good. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow, if not sooner.